Could the year 2024 herald the return of a familiar face, or will it reinforce the current status quo? Welcome to a deep dive into the contrasting policies and impacts of two political heavyweights, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, known for his unorthodox approach to politics, has left an indelible mark on the country. His administration's policies, such as the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, significantly lowered the corporate tax rate, which proponents argue stimulated economic growth. On the international stage, Trump's America First policy aimed to safeguard American interests, even though critics argue it led to strained relations with some allies. In contrast, Joe Biden, the 46th president, has a more traditional approach to politics. His administration has focused on domestic issues such as infrastructure and healthcare. His trillion-dollar infrastructure bill aims to modernize the nation's infrastructure and create jobs. However, critics argue that such massive spending could lead to inflation and an increased tax burden. On the international front, Biden has sought to repair relationships with allies and return to international agreements, such as the Paris Agreement on climate change. However, this approach has its critics, who argue that it may compromise American interests. The impacts of these contrasting policies are evident. Under Trump's administration, there was a significant reduction in corporate tax, leading to increased profits for businesses. However, critics argue that this did not necessarily lead to wage growth for workers. Conversely, Biden's focus on domestic issues has led to substantial investment in infrastructure, although the long-term economic impact of this is yet to be seen. In terms of international relations, Trump's America First policy had a significant impact, leading to a shift in global dynamics. Some argue this policy protected American interests, while others believe it led to a more fragmented global community. Biden's approach, meanwhile, has sought to restore international alliances and commitments, although it remains to be seen whether this will indeed lead to a safer, more cooperative global community. Now let's summarize the key points. Trump's administration focused on economic stimulation through corporate tax cuts and an America First policy in international relations. Critics, however, argue that these policies did not necessarily benefit the average American and may have strained international relationships. Biden's administration, on the other hand, has aimed to address domestic issues through significant investment in infrastructure and healthcare and sought to repair international relationships. Critics, however, caution against the potential inflationary effects of such large-scale spending and the possible compromise of American interests on the global stage. As the 2024 elections approach, it will be interesting to see how these contrasting policies and their impacts shape the political landscape. Will voters lean towards the unconventional yet impactful policies of Trump, or will they favor the more traditional approach of Biden? Only time will tell.